Did you know that one of the world's most successful racing car manufacturers has only really entered F1 3 times? But only really once? This is Porsche. And they've won once. Not a championship, just one race. They once found themselves in luck and they had an F2 car ready to go in for the 1.5 liter roll change, and it sucked. Then they made a longer version, the 787, and it sucked. Then their most successful F1 race car ever, the Porsche 804. Now, after just the 1 year it was ever in, Volkswagen and Audi kind of pulled the plug for them, saying they weren't really interested in F1 and they never entered a car ever again. What a rare bird this is. I just had to make it. So hours later, I had one done in Blender, then I put it through the SDK. And here it is now in automation, and this is available for you in the automation workshop right now. You can go ahead and give this thing a full-on hard go yourself. Now, one of the reasons why I particularly chose this one over the other ones is not just because it's a winner, but oh my god, it has such just an odd design, do you not think? It's very peculiar. It also has a bunch of technology which is not really available at this point. So it's only like partial fiberglass and, well, most of it was aluminium. So we're going to go with an aluminium body, and then it's going to be a space frame, because at this point they haven't made the chassis that are completely in thingamajiggy with thingamajigs. My brain doesn't work, I swear. Monocoque, which is like a complete stress yeah, okay, my brain not so good. So we're gonna go steel here. We're gonna go mid longitudinal double wishbone, and then on the rear a double wishbone. Now they're not exactly double wishbone, and that's about as close as we're going to get. And then we're gonna make this like super duper light, because this car is not going to be as light as what the real thing is. Then for our engine, we're gonna go a new project, and we aren't going to go a boxer engine, because even though Porsche is very synonymous with boxer 6s, the actual engine that was in this was actually a Boxer 8 or a flat 8, I don't know, whichever, whatever. Unfortunately, we don't have that available to us, which is sure, why not? There was only really an F1 engine for a very short period of time. So we're gonna go with a normal V8, and we're gonna see if we can maybe modify something up later on. Then it's gonna be an 8, it's gonna be aluminium, and then we have the bore and stroke stats. So it's a 66, right about here, and 54.6 somewhere down here. And we're going to try to stick to as many details as possible, by the way. It was a dual overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, I think? Nope, I'm just looking right now, it's 2 valves per cylinder. Okay, that's a choice. Sure, an aluminium head. I'm assuming it's all aluminium. Like, the details around this are spotty, but it does have a lot of information available to us. And then higher quality, because we want this to be as light as possible. Then a harmonic dampener. We'll go with, I don't know. I'm gonna probably suggest that this thing would have been equivalent to a flat plane. Then we'll just go with some forged for now. Onto the cam here. So apparently it reaches its peak torque at around 9,200 RPM in 1962. So let's go ahead and give that a try for now. Compression ratio is around 10:1, they say. I don't know. There's kind of some doubt here I'm having on their like accuracy of measurements, but yeah, let's go for that for now. Then, oh no, it had mechanical fuel injection. Unfortunately, we don't have that available yet. How long would we have to go? 1964 to get mechanical fuel injection. Okay, so we're just gonna spoof the year here a little bit. Then per cylinder, race, and we'll figure out the rest later. Go over to the exhaust and race tubular, dual, and no mufflers. Now, RPM, we're gonna wanna go over 10,000 maybe? Yeah, that looks about right. We're only at 83 kilowatts. But then again, this thing did only actually generate 132 kilowatts, which is not a lot. Making the exhaust smaller has given us a fair chunk of power. We now have little pea shooter 1-inch exhausts. That is absolutely tiny. All right, cam profile it is. Oh, look at that. We're already basically where we need to be. So I think we have to reduce our cam a little bit. And just like that, with a little bit of tweaking, we are pretty much dead on. We're unfortunately about 100 RPM too high on the Newton meters and 100 RPM too high on the kilowatts, and maybe one too many kilowatts. So we are very close to what they had, and I am actually really happy with this. I wonder if we drop the lifter. There we go. With shittier lifters, we are now exactly on point. Let's put this into perspective though, and this might help you realize why this car lost so much. The Ferrari of the same year, the 156, that had 147 kilowatts. Doesn't sound like much, but that was enough. But let's go ahead and keep moving along. Oh, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be so much fun making such a shitty car. I mean, gorgeous, awesome car that works in every way. What we're going to do is we're going to hide the chassis. For people, stop asking me. Just watch the video. You go here, hide chassis, hide chassis. Don't ask me again. Then we're gonna go with a manual. Unfortunately, it was a 6-speed. We only have 4 available to us. It also had a limited slip differential, which we don't have. So we're gonna go with an automatic locker. That can't go wrong. Then up that quality to reduce that weight just a smidge. Then obviously cross plies, because that was what was used back in the day, some sort of sports compound. And the front tire width, unfortunately, really annoyingly, is written in inches. Who uses inches on tire width? So rear tires were 165s. I've got that correct. Then 5 inches on the front. 127s. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe 125s will work? Whatever, it'll be good enough. And 15-inch wheels. Unfortunately, there's no like set diameter on the tire. Just, yeah, that. Also, steel wheels? Sure, I'm assuming they probably would have been under the weight requirements if they went with magnesiums, but probably would have behooved them to actually use magnesium wheels and then move the weight inboard where it sprung. Either way, increase that quality. It also was the first Porsche to ever be using, I believe, full round disc brakes. Or at least maybe their special sort of disc brake? I don't know, there was something weird about the way they were riding it. No wonder trade, because we're worried about weight. The brake airflow is going to go up considerably because this is an open wheeler. If you don't put brake airflow on here, I'm gonna call you a big fat cheat, because the drag of this body is accurately really low. But that's because you're actually meant to gain it back in here, your cooling and brake airflow. Then nothing here. I don't think it had power steering at the time. And safety in the 1960s. Then center springs, and we're all good. Sports suspension, that'll do. We got actually a decent steering graph here as well. Let's, however, go ahead and lower this. It also looks a little bit high in the front. Never fear, we can actually change that now. Whoa, look at that! Actually, here in my reference image, it doesn't show that. What it shows is that the front tire is a bit of a smaller diameter. Back up you go. Now let's reduce the size until it's about the right height. There we go. That looks close enough, methinks. Now just keep in mind that there is paint options here. You've got the main primary body color, then you've got a secondary color if you want to do some sort of two-tone, and then you've got the bonnet there for doing the hood part thing. Also, there's body morphing, so you can like move that however you want. Then there's also lift here and squish. You can do pretty much whatever you want. Yep, just go nuts. Go completely nuts. I wish there was a reset button here. Oh, hold on. There is! Reset body morphs! Yes! Thank you, devs! How could anybody ever hate this game? I'm noticing my suspension isn't lining up as well, so we might go in here and drop the body height. Yeah, look at that! Yes, I probably could have fixed that over in the SDK, but that's absolutely fine. Everything is actually looking hunky-dory. The only thing I want to do is move the engine forward, which in the off chance that they've actually fixed the weight distribution, we're gonna use that for now. Not close enough. There we go. Now, I think I have, yes, engine block parts. Thank you for uploading these. No, there's not valve covers. No. What have I been doing this for the last 15 minutes? Murder is an option, right? I have an idea. After this, I'm going to go ahead and export a flat 4 version over here, And then, oops, I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, then we'll export that and we'll just put 2 of them together in Blender. So let's go ahead and undo all of our work by deleting it all. Awesome, love it. Isn't that so good? When you get to just waste all of your time. That's fine. At least we've still got this. And all we have to do is really make it look like this. So we're going to put in a few little suspension outrigger sort of thingies. A vent here, and then a place for the air cooling fan. Yeah, they saved a bit of weight by not having a radiator at the front. There is a little bit of cooling there. I'm assuming that's maybe for an oil cooler and to cool the cabin. You also notice that there's got fuel tanks here and fuel tanks here, like on most cars. But just to make sure that the driver is fully encapsulated in a bomb, there's also a fuel tank down here. So let's go ahead and figure out what we're gonna do. Grab just a straight up cylinder, I think. Now, what sort of hole is this? Just a straight up hole with a little bit of an indent? Let's see what we can do here. Oh, I think this'll work. Just shorten that up. That looks fairly good. Then, cut a hole in it. Nice. That's actually pretty darn close. Oh, but no, there's a bit of a bolt here. Maybe if we grab one of these, turn that inwards, then put that to that. Oh dear. Well, yeah, let's make that better. Rotate it, scale her down, move her into place. Yep. Now, it looks authentic. It also looks very greasy. So let's go ahead and give that like a dirty metal color. I think for that, we've done a good enough job. Now let's do it twice more for the rear. This time it bulges out though and bulges in. This will be a little bit trickier, but I think I know how to do this. That is a little too close. That will have to do. It's also a lot lower on... Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Nobody cares. Now we just need an outer bulgy sort of thingy. We could try using a scoop of some sort. Unfortunately, this is a little too square. But then again, most Porsche owners are. I wish I could afford one. I think that is going to have to do it for that. It's about as close as I can get. Next is all of these vents. I think this one's going to be a little too tricky to do because I've kind of set it up wrong, but these two I can do. Luckily, we've got a vent right like that. Except it's a little bit... Is that close? No, but it'll do. Then something like this to go there. Nothing is probably going to fit particularly well around the front. There we go. Is that close enough? I think that's as good as we're ever going to get. I don't think anything else wants to fit here. Unfortunately, it's lower. Automation is limiting us. Yeah, whatever. We can't do anything about that. Oh, that's not so bad. Then a big fat mesh dome. I think one of these shapes will do it. Right like that. And a little bit forwards because there's more room at the back. There we go. Do we have a fan somewhere? A fan would be awesome. Please have a fan somewhere. Looks like there's a mod for it. Oh, that looks good. That is a thing of booty. Now, if we have a look at the rear, we got a big transmission there and some exhaust poking out. Here, it's also a lot darker, so I think we'll go with a black metal. Now, something to resemble some sort of transmission, and I don't want to go to a lot of effort. I could try kit bashing with what we've got, but I don't think there's much currently. I think that's good enough to represent some sort of transmission. And the rest, you could just use your imagination. As for the rest, yep, steel, ugly-ass wheels. But do we have anything like that? Mostly a crappy center with little holes around the edge. We have that. This crappy center, but no holes around the edge. It's kind of like holes around the edge like that almost. That's a lot better. White metal versus gray metal. I think we can do that. Just a little bit of dirtiness on there. I think that's doing a pretty good job. I can't see it getting much better than that, aside from making completely custom wheels. And I don't want to do that. Anything else? No, the body is actually very sparse. Some numbers and some bolts. That we can do. This one doesn't have the sticky things coming out. What? Oh, that is... I hate how there's multiple versions. This was only used for 1 year. Why is there so many differences? Ugh, whatever. I think that is good enough. Now I just have to put on some numbers, and there we go. 86 plastered everywhere. So this is going to be the Porsche 804. Yay! Now, after working on this, I do realize I have made one mistake. You'll notice that the windshield here, it kind of cut in half. Will I fix that one day? Maybe. Should you hold your breath? Maybe, probably not. Let's go ahead and export it. Right after we see how it actually does. It's a 216, not terrible, but also not the greatest. It has been an age since I have been recording, because I spent the longest time just fiddling and fart-arsing around from the outget so then I don't have to fiddle later. First and main things, I put in brake force, like always. Then sway bars, just because, you know what? May as well put that in there, because I may need it at some point. And the other one, well, is actually not that much. It's just a little bit of node editing. Pretty much out from the box, this was pretty good. The only thing I did is these wheel arches, like normal, were all really tall. This here in the cockpit was really low. And then these rear ones around the wheel arch were also really high. And I made them lower. If you want to know how to do node editing, there's a video just for you. Aside from that, I did a few other little nitpicky things. I removed the suspension components. Check out that video for that one. And I made these things here a part of the actual suspension. So if we move this here, you'll see it moves with the suspension. Not great, mind you, but it does the job. Oh, also I put the camera in the cabin. The big piece de resistance, the one thing which I was so frustrated I couldn't do in automation. I made myself a flat 8. Yes, I exported myself a second version of this car with a flat 4 in it, then I doubled it up, then I made all of the materials work and everything in this version. That took the majority of the time. I probably spent an hour on just the engine alone. Now, I'm not particularly great with it, as it's got this, like, weird hump in the middle, but what we do is just ignore it and hope that it goes away. Also, I'm noticing the exhaust doesn't light up. Frick. Well, whatever, you don't see it when you're from outside of the car. You have to, like, look really low and really close inside to see that. Otherwise, you just don't really see it. And it is... this is actually quite good. Now that these guys have got, like, a really good engineer on the side, namely me as opposed to their pathetic professionals, let's see how this car does. Really bogs down off the line. Oh yeah, I also put in some extra suspension bracing to make the thing jiggle just a little bit less. There was a little bit of jiggle, but I did all right. Oh god, no! Why does driving with a controller never work out for me? Oh, that's really a sketch to accelerate out with. I may put a little bit of toe in, and I think we're locking up the rears maybe just a smidge too much. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but driving down here, you know, doing all right. Now, some of you may be wondering why it is that the body is not shaking oh so much, and that'd be mostly because there is actually a rear to this vehicle. God damn it. Well, I think, yeah, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to reduce that rear brake force, because currently at the moment, it works like a little bit of an anchor. Yep, rear brake force, way too high. So under tuning, let's say drop it down to about 1,000, and then I think the front is going to be a little bit too much. So let's reduce the front as well by about 50-ish. Yes, okay, and then braking, we still lock up a lot. Reduce that a little bit more. Oh, okay, now they're even again. Let's hope that works. Into the braking zone and brake, and oh, it's still a little bit sketchy, but I think that is doing a lot better now. So, I mean, I might start breaking out the timer immediately and having fun with this thing. But, oh, okay, super sketch, okay. Then this time is not going to be probably particularly great. We're back onto narrow tires again, but we know how that's worked out for me in the past with modifying tires, so it's probably not going to be the best, but I don't think this is going to be the slowest, because for one, the body is very, very rigid, and look at that, nice. Bringing it down to the hotel bend, as I'm noticing that the hotel is missing a lot of materials. Oh god, okay. You know what? We're probably actually going to advantage a lot from using the sim racing wheel, but god, do I hate dragging that thing out. And get turned. Okay, good. And head for the tunnel. That building is missing a lot. Oh god. Okay, bringing it down here to the fast follow through. This is the first time I've been at this one. Oh, okay, Drifter Mundo. That's not what I was expecting. And then slow it, bring it down here. Don't want to lock up too much and get turned. good, going around whatever this chicane is called. I know that these old cars never raced that line, but I want a good consistent time in between all of the eras of race cars with a consistent track layout. That, and I don't have the old layout where it doesn't even go around the swimming pool originally, because that swimming pool was put in much later. I mean, couldn't they take it into consideration? Wow, this actually drifts really controllably. I like it a lot. And then bring it down here into the kind of square corner. Okay. Good. Slow it down a little bit and turn it down. We're onto the straight. God, I should have been timing this. That was actually a good lap. I'm actually going to try to do like proper hot lapping now, and if I don't do well, that's the time I'm going to go with. And away we go. I didn't want to completely floor it because I know how skittish these things become on, oh frick, my brain's not working. Narrow cross plies. But that's fine. Oh god, okay, did the clutch dump. God damn it, BeamNG, you need better controllers for automation cars. For some reason, if you lock up the wheels at all, the thing goes into a clutch coast, and no matter what you do, when you then put on the accelerator, from 0 RPM on the engine, it'll just dump the clutch, and that is what's called a pressure lock, and that will lock up the wheels, kind of like ripping on the handbrake, except a lot harder. If you do that to real life, that does actually cause a lot of stress on the transmission. Oh, I didn't need to brake so early then. But let's see how it goes now through the pointy hair bends and all. Bends? Pointy hair pins. And you know what? I don't even actually need to put in a differential slider thing, which I normally put in, because unlike normally, the gear ratios will come out as a gear ratio that I've selected. I might put one in anyway, just in case, because I really do feel as if, like, you want to take this to a higher speed track like Monza instead of Monaco. It's going to do a lot better. Oh, okay, skittish as hell. Nope, okay, that's good. Let's start slowing down for whatever this is. Oh, well. Wheels are locked up, ahoy. Oh, God, that's super dodge. Did the clutch dump again because the wheels locked up again. What you're meant to do in that situation, which is really hard to do if I'm, like, focusing on so many things, including talking at the same time. No! Oh, okay, our suspension is hurt, but I think we can still complete this lap. It hasn't affected the steering too. Okay, yeah, no, it has. It's not affected the steering, but it had affected the handling. Oopsie-daisies. That has affected us severely, but we don't have many high-speed corners left, so we're gonna try it out anyway. And that was also the first dink I've had so far, but I think we're doing okay. Brake is going to be a little bit affected, but that's fine. Oh, that actually got us turned around nicely. That did a pretty good job. I wish I had a steering wheel right now, because that would really help with being able to control this wonky steering. That's fine. Let's bring it down. No! We were doing so well! Please go through here nicely. There we go. Look at that. We did it! All right, now, what I was saying about lockups, what you're meant to do, and what I can't really focus on right now, is if you do lock up, you put your clutch in, or press your clutch button, whatever you want to call it, and then lift up the revs before you let the clutch out. And that way you'll get a smooth transition of power. May do a little bit of a burnout, but you'll get used to it, and it's much better than ripping on that handbrake like that. And then our time, not bad, 2:15. I didn't even have to try particularly hard. That's pretty nice. Yeah, that actually puts us ahead of the first F1 car and behind, like, the much better Lotus car. So it's right about where it should be. Is it Phil is as good as Porsche engineers confirmed? I don't know. I feel like I also want to take this around the old automation test track. Now, this mod will be available, my version of the car will be available on the workshop, sorry, the BeamNG repository. For some reason, they don't use Steam Workshop. Maybe there's some reason for that. I don't entirely understand why they must run their own thing. That also means that they're people, I'm not quite sure who they put in charge of checking out cars, means that this mod won't be available until Monday. Trust me, I can do this slow down with a jump a little bit, which will then help keep the vehicle settled, though it still wants to go around, and I really don't want it to, but we're doing Okay, good. There we go. Now go through the big bowl. I don't know. I'm gonna call it the Bowlerdrome. There's probably a name for it. I don't know. I've not really looked it up. And then on to the back straight at the end of the sluice. What? Oh, that almost became super duper sketch. That's fine. We're gonna start slowing down nice and only. Oh god, no! We had a bit of a lockup of our wheels. No! Damn it! This time I will do better. So we're gonna aim for the inside of the corner and oh, be super sketch under brakes. Apparently, I was trying so hard to keep it under control, and you know it's not so bad if you're just, you know, careful. Otherwise, it will bite your frickin' head off. But here we go, coming along right down now, and 1 minute and 9 seconds. That's actually pretty decent. No license? What do we got here for cars? No names for any of the cars. Isn't that absolutely fantastic? Thanks, game. Oh, dear. Well, oh, it repaired the car. I was hoping to look at it. This is actually quite fun. Now, I know that I'm not the biggest fan of Porsche, but this is still probably one of the more fun F1 cars, because it looks like a go-kart. It handles pretty darn well. What? No, shoot. But yeah, oh god, I could drive this one actually for quite a while. I'm probably going to drive this one for quite a bit after the recording is done. And, yeah, I don't know. I like this car. It's pretty cool. It's not the best looking car. It looks kind of weird and dorkish. But it is one of the best right out of the box. Only the Lotus 72 has been quite so not jiggly out of the box. That one's also kind of just really lucky. It might be the new Automation Exporter. Who knows? They may have tweaked it a little bit to be a little bit better. But we'll go over that sort of stuff in the future. Anyway, for now, I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye. Yeah!